Well, greetings Bond fans and welcome back to the Bond Geek channel with me, your host, the name's Stevens, Henry Stevens. Everybody, how'd you do? I hope you're all well, hope you're enjoying a good Bond film, a good Bond book, a good Bond video game, a good James Bond, whatever makes you part of this glorious fandom, everybody. That is the James Bond community, welcome. And today, everybody, and honestly, I'm saying this with so much joy and pleasure because at one point, I really didn't think we were ever going to get to watch this movie. We are going to review No Time to Die on this channel, completing our Bond first reviews playlist, everybody. I would like to say right off the bat here, if I may, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. I am going to talk about spoilers for No Time to Die in a sort of half discussion, half review of No Time to Die with spoilers down the line sometime in October when more people have had the chance to watch the film. But until then, I've been very careful and I'm going to give you this non-spoiler review of No Time to Die, everybody. So let's get right into it. So here is my initial reaction to No Time to Die. Honestly, everybody, I think this film is going to be a bit divided for a while. I think there's going to be a lot of sort of real in-depth conversations and discussions on what people think about this film. I think it's going to divide a lot of people, but honestly, as far as I'm concerned, I think this is one of the most wonderful, unique films in the entire franchise, and I think it's going to stand out in the franchise as being something really special and really cool within the franchise. The way I really describe it, there is one film I'd love to compare it to, but I can't yet on this non-spoiler review of No Time to Die. But I'll use this other one as an example. What I think this film is, it's a sort of spiritual sequel / successor to the film On Her Majesty's Secret Service. They used a lot of the music on Her Majesty's Secret Service in here, but they'll get into that a bit later anyway. But that is my initial thoughts to you right now about what I think about when it comes to No Time to Die. So, as always, everybody on this channel, one thing I really like to do, and one of the points of the channel, is to give you my own personal connection with this film, my own connection to it, my history with the film, and just teach you all about it. And when I think about No Time to Die, the comment that really comes up the most, I have to say, is waiting. It's been 6 years since Spectre. Do you know how long it's been I've been waiting for No Time to Die? When I saw Spectre in 2015, I was still living around Milton Keynes. This is the first James Bond film I've watched ever since moving up to Yorkshire. Since Spectre, I've basically got a new house. I have become engaged to the love of my life. I've got a new job. I'm in a better position I have been in my whole life ever. It's amazing how much has happened in just over half a decade, hey? Or you could say in between one film and another. I'm in such a completely different place. So when I think about No Time to Die, I think a lot about waiting for the delays in the production, delays because of injuries, delays because of the big virus going around everybody, and always for everybody, please stay safe when it comes to that, everybody. But waiting is the thing that I really think about. The other thing I really want to sort of bring up when it comes to discussing No Time to Die is this. It's a slightly irrelevant thing, but I really want to share it with you. The last time pre-seeing No Time to Die I went to the cinema was in early 2020, seeing Sam Mendes' of all films, 1917. I have not been back to the cinema since seeing 1917. So to come back to the cinema and start going back in the cinema and starting and kicking it off with No Time to Die, I think has added a little thing to me. But again, I'm not one of those people who says I try to be objectional about it. Those feelings and emotions will always be now connected to me with No Time to Die, everybody. A lot of you might ask actually as well, what do you think my grandfather would have thought of this film? I'm going to be honest, I don't think he would have liked it that much at all, everybody. But, for me, I still think it's a standout movie in the entire franchise. But not all films are perfect, as you know, everybody. And we've got to discuss, in my opinion, some things that were an issue with me in this film. Now, the number one big issue I have with this film is this. You have to have known all the previous Daniel Craig films and have to have seen them to really sort of appreciate it properly and really experience it and get all the such dramatic stuff that happens in this movie. This film, a bit like Avengers Endgame, is not a standalone James Bond story. This is, if you will, the culmination, the ending of the Daniel Craig sort of arc and everything. And, the way to really appreciate it is you have to have seen Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall and Spectre. Maybe not so much Quantum of Solace. Sorry for you all Quantum of Solace fans out there. But, you know, the film, it sort of does work on its own, but at the same time, it's designed more in a way that it is sort of so connected, more than even Spectre was, to the previous 4 films. So I put that as one of the bad things, and personally I think this film you do need to have seen the previous films to really appreciate this film. The other thing that I got a bit annoyed about, as you all know, leading up to No Time to Die, I was such a sore supporter of the idea of Safin as a villain. I thought Safin would be one of the greatest villains of all time. I'm going to be honest with you, I really loved Safin in this film. I think there's a scene, you see it in the trailer, between him and Bond having, you know, that traditional verbal joust, which I love in Bond films and across the board. And by the way, everybody, it was a terrific scene. But honestly, Safin didn't quite live up to my expectations. He had, honestly, this amazing build-up in the film, but when it came to actually Safin in the real-life form, it didn't honestly quite work for me. But I would still like to say on record, I really did still love Safin. He was a really good villain, just wasn't for me the all-time great. But something I knew which was definitely going to happen in this film did happen, which is I fell in love with the character Poliana, played by Ana de Armas. You know, everyone's speculations and stuff about how the short time she has in the film are right, but my god, you literally just finished that part of the movie like, I want more Poliana, give me more Poliana, she's amazing, you know, she is absolutely incredible. Honestly, you're just wanting more and more of her. I said in my Spectre review how, like, you probably, you know, Monica Bellucci's character, you wish you sort of wanted more of her in the film. It's the same with Poliana. And she was so good, so interesting, so entertaining. What a terrific, terrific character. Honestly, everybody, I'll leave up talking about Poliana with this. We've talked about on this channel about spin-off ideas. If you want to do a spin-off James Bond thing, do a spin-off on her. That would just be absolutely incredible. Another thing that really didn't quite work for me, everybody, is, this is like a personal thing, so just take it as a real personal thing, because you might disagree with this entirely. Some of the dialogues, mainly it's like some of the jokes in certain scenes, didn't quite sort of make me laugh or hit the mark for me. It's a bit like akin to The Last Jedi. Some of the jokes in there I didn't think quite worked. It's the same, I feel, really here when it comes to No Time to Die. You know, the dialogue and the storyline and the script, by the way, is solid. It's really good. Some great one-liners, great dialogue and interaction. Honestly, superb. But some of the jokes and stuff and some of the scenes just like... just get on with it. This isn't funny. Get on with it. Get on with it. But hey, that is such a subjective thing. That is purely based on whether you find this sort of comedy thing good or not, everybody. But outside of all that, everybody, I think this film was such an amazing experience to watch. And the number one thing I'd really like to talk about when it comes to the good points, and there are plenty, believe me, is how all the creative points were explored and not half done, not half-arsed in this film. What I mean by that is, if you look at Spectre, certainly like the Bond-Blofeld relationship in that film, or like ideas and stuff in that film, I felt it was really half-arsed. It's like they went with ideas or stuff, but they didn't really explore it. They just sort of like dipped their toes in this concept but didn't want to go full in. This film, they've set up like things, they're going to do this, they're going to have things go this way, it's going to be done like this, we're going to now do this direction, and they just charge into that, and they really explore every avenue, every like what if this did happen, you know, and all the things when it comes around that. It's one of the things I really love in film. Whether you like a film or hate the film, I really love it in films where if you're going to go in a certain direction, don't half-arse it, commit to it, go the full way, explore every avenue related to it and possible, and really sort of dive into it. And this film did it, and for that, you know, it really ups the ante for me in the stakes. Talking about stakes, everybody, again, not going to go into any spoilers here, but we all know that the sort of villain's sort of plan revolves around biological warfare. And my god, listen, again, personal thing here, everybody, so really take it here. Biological warfare scares the crap out of me. It really does, and the potential of what it can do. And we go to this creative point. This film looks into the biological warfare landscape and really shows you the frightening side of things, of what it can do, and the frightening side of if it was ever unleashed. And again, just really explore that. In comparison to Spectre, like when they told you what they did but didn't show its power, this film really shows the terror of biological warfare and what it can do. And for that honestly, it hit a nerve with me, and maybe it's because of the pandemic recently, but the whole biological warfare angle really sort of sunk into me, thinking this is serious, this is dangerous. And again, it's used in the plot so well, everybody, but I can't go any more on that. I also got to talk a bit about Blofeld here, Blofeld and Spectre, because this film gives us the Bond and Blofeld relationship and the Spectre that we deserved from the actual film Spectre. They're amazing in this movie, everybody. It's really fantastic. It's really incredible. This is the Christoph Waltz Blofeld that we wanted when it got announced in 2015, everybody. Christoph Waltz is fantastic in this film. I can't go into any more detail than that. Just, he's utterly wow. And, Bond, again, that scene you see in the trailer when Bond and Blofeld meet again, it's just incredible, everybody. So fantastic watch and such an enjoyable thing. It really is absolutely amazing. And following on from again, I think personally this film has one of the best pre-title sequences ever in the franchise. It's probably the longest at 20 minutes, being World's Not Enough. But it doesn't feel like that. It starts off with one thing, then it moves into another, and it just naturally flows. And then there's this great action sequence you've seen in the trailer with the Aston Martin DB5, and just at the point where you feel like, okay, you're not going to drag it, are you? It ends naturally. It's so wonderfully done. It just, honestly, I was watching and thinking, okay, this is probably the time now when you probably need to start going into the titles. Oh, yep, here we go. Here into the title sequence, by the way, everybody. It just naturally flowed. I think that's, again, to really bring up here, as I say, the pacing in this film is actually relentless. It has those moments where, you can just chill and calm down with it, but it's just incredibly fast-paced, this film. It really feels like you are a race against the clock, that sort of a vibe to it. And when you've got a pacing like that for a near 3-hour film, it works so well. Honestly, I give full 10 out of 10 to the editing for this film, just getting the pacing absolutely right for this, 100%. And I think the last thing I really want to give praise to here is the score by Hans Zimmer. I don't talk a lot about scores in these reviews, because what I want to do is I want to sort of do little reviews of them on a separate thing down the line, and which, by the way, we will. But Hans Zimmer's score, right off the bat, everybody, it's in my top 3 scores of all time. I think my new top 3 favourite scores in a Bond film is from Russia with Love, No Time to Die, and I know this is a bit controversial here, but I think actually potentially Golden Eyes. Those 3, I can't give a number 1 really right yet, but those 3 are definitely my number 1, 2 and 3 when it comes to Bond scores. Hans Zimmer's music is incredible. He uses the Bond theme and really puts it in glorious moments when it's needed. His own music in here is incredible. His gun barrel music is terrific as well. Honestly, the music in No Time to Die is just fantastic and so incredible, everybody. So you know what, everybody, just looking at No Time to Die in general, the questions I think a lot of people will ask me is this: Henry, is this the film that breaks the sort of mould of Bond actors never sort of really ending on a high note? Does Daniel Craig end here on a high note? And honestly, my answer is, yeah, 100%. I think he ends on a high note here. This is probably not my favourite Daniel Craig film. I think Skyfall is probably still my favourite Daniel Craig James Bond film. However, I'm going to put No Time to Die as my second favourite Daniel Craig James Bond film. The other thing that is really great about No Time to Die is it lifts Spectre up, I think, a bit, and how actually sort of Rector actually making that a better movie, I think, in general. Just everybody, look, No Time to Die is going to be such a unique film in the franchise. We are never going to get a Bond film, I think, like this again. And they explored every creative point in it and just went with it and just really used it to its full extreme. I think this film is firing on all different cylinders, and for me, it is a firm recommendation for me to go watch this film. As you probably guessed, I haven't really talked about characters in this review yet, because I really can't talk about the characters without really going into heavily spoilers, everybody. So we'll do that again in the spoiler discussion / semi-review with spoilers, everybody. But I want to know, everybody, what are your thoughts about No Time to Die? Did you enjoy it as much as me? Did you not like it? It's all great. We can discuss it here right now. Please, no spoilers on the comments, everybody. But please comment down below and tell me what you think about No Time to Die. Don't forget, everybody, to like and comment and subscribe to the channel, because on this channel we have James Bond reviews, editorials, what if videos, top 10s, trailer reactions, you name it. We've got stuff here for you James Bond fans, everybody. Don't forget again to like and comment and subscribe. As always, everybody, my name's Henry Stevens, and this has been The Bond Geek. Goodbye.